I have never in a million years seen a team argue. When they are winning, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
Today, Team USA continues to self-implode on MTV's The Challenge, and Jordan Wiseley is giving us the blow-by-blow.
Turbo, I'm your daddy.
Plus, Ja Rule is here to talk growing up hip-hop and more.
It's hot. It's hot.
This is your reality check.
I'm pretty sure even Tom Cruise could have handled this.
What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, which is basically our Friday. Welcome to Reality Check. I'm your host, Lyndsey Rodrigues, and joining me to kick things off today is multi-platinum recording artist and executive producer and star of Growing Up Hip Hop New York. It is the one and only Ja Rule. Welcome, Ja.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great. I can't tell you how many nights I spent dancing up in the club to your hits back in the day.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
So it's very cool to have you here, and we have lots to chat about. So I hope that you'll indulge me in kicking off our top 5.
Let's get to it.
Well, at number 5, unfortunately, we are beginning on a very sad note because Demi Lovato is heartbroken over the loss of her friend, Thomas. The former X Factor judge revealed on her Instagram stories that Thomas passed away Tuesday night following a battle with addiction. Now, of course, Demi has battled addiction herself and has urged her followers in a post to get help if they or someone they know is currently struggling with substance abuse. She wrote, "Addiction is no joke. Heaven gained this beautiful angel because of that terrible disease. I'm crushed and will always miss you. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know it's okay to ask for help." So on that note, we would just like to say, if you or someone you know is indeed struggling with substance abuse, please call the national hotline at 1-800-662-HELP. This is a free, confidential 24/7 treatment referral and information service, and it's available in both English and Spanish. And of course, to me, our thoughts are with you and with Thomas's friends and family. At number 4, on a happier note, thank goodness, Amy Duggar-King is a mom. The reality star and her husband Dylan King welcomed their first child together, Daxton Ryan King, via a C-section on Wednesday. The couple's photographer told People that the delivery was smooth and easy and both mum and baby are great and healthy. Amy told People exclusively, "I've always wanted to be a boy mom. Dylan builds lifted trucks, so I can just imagine how souped up the Power Wheels will be." Now, Ja, you've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
You have 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest difference about raising your boys as to raising your daughter, Brittany?
You know, very different.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad but true, but women are just held to a higher standard than men.
That's true. There is a double standard that we are working to break down.
And you know, I don't think I should be working to break it down so much because I think that higher standard is more so of you guys being like on a pedestal and being good people.
Right.
And men are like heathens. You know what I mean? Like we're capable and of anything and you know, so I think that's the biggest difference is you raise them kind of like that. You know, the boys kind of get away with more and the girls is kind of like, you know, you should be a little more ladylike, a little more reserved. And, you know, I think that's the biggest difference with raising the kids is just women are held to a much higher standard.
So were you proud last week on the show when Brittany revealed that she's celibate and that she's like, you know, being a good girl and waiting for someone?
I didn't see that.
Oh, spoiler alert, you raised a good one.
Yeah, that's all good.
All right, well, at number 3, sadly, we're back to another sad story. The 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way star, Devon Clegg, and her husband, Ji-Hoon Lee, have been left devastated after she suffered a miscarriage. In an Instagram post, the reality star shared a photo of her ultrasound and addressed fans with the caption, "We have to announce we did end up losing our baby. We are heartbroken and focusing on healing." Devon is the mother to a 3-year-old daughter from a previous relationship, and the couple share a 6-month-old son who they welcomed in April. So, of course, at this time, we are sending our prayers to the family at this time and wish them well and wish them privacy as they grieve and heal. At number 2, Howard Stern is getting married again. The former AGT judge made a surprise impromptu proposal to remarry his beautiful wife, Beth, his wife of 11 years. The radio host appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live and explained that he had been wanting to remarry Beth, but she kept avoiding his proposal attempts because she thought it would be jinxed if they got married again. I mean, how could these two ever be jinxed? They're so perfect together. Would you ever consider remarrying your beautiful wife?
Yeah, I definitely would. I told her, we talked about it before, I told her the stipulations on this.
What are the stipulations?
She has to propose to me this time.
Hey, why not? We want
Right?
equality, right?
Hey, you want equality? I think that's a good way of making it equal. I did it the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting to be proposed to. I still
Okay.
haven't been proposed to.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
she's planning the most insane surprise ever.
Yeah,
and
she
you just,
probably is.
You won't see it coming. So we can look forward to that.
Yeah.
At number 1, Chance the Rapper is happy to be a dad. The Rhythm and Flow judge shared a photo of his newborn baby girl, Marley Grace, on Instagram and fawned over his wife, Kirsten, in the process. Now, this comes after the musician announced his paternity leave on September 9th, saying, "It's been very strenuous having to divide my time and energy between family and work." He went on to say that being a father of 2, he wanted to make himself as helpful and as available as possible. So, Ja, what's your take on this? I mean, your kids are grown now, but if you had little ones, would you ever consider taking a step back from the biz to be a bit of a stay-at-home dad?
I mean, that is very honorable a chance, and he must be making pretty good bank, because I wasn't able to do that at my point in my career when I had my kids. I had to get out there and keep grinding and keep working.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I absolutely understand it, and I wish, you know, that I could have done those things, because you never get that, you can't get that time back.
That's true. But at least now, you know, you're helping your kids now and helping them with their career.
That's the best part. You know,
so-
as they're adults now, I get to, you know, really be with them and
Yeah.
share a lot of those moments with
And
them.
now you can be friends as well as like the
Yes.
father-son, father-daughter
Yeah,
relationship.
And that makes it that much better.
Yeah, that's the coolest. All right, we are going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking more with Ja Rule, so make sure you stay with us. Welcome back to the show. I am still here with the legendary rapper and the soundtrack to my teens, Ja Rule.
Hey, no doubt.
So cool to have you on the set, buddy. You know, you've had your own reality show before. It was called Follow the Rules.
Yeah.
So what was different about that compared to your return to reality? Because this year, obviously, you joined the cast of Growing Up Hip Hop New York. So what prompted your return and how is it different?
Well, you know, my kids, you know, they wanted to get back on the TV screen. They like it. And you know, I thought this was a really good vehicle, because this is about legacy. You know, this is about the next generation of, you know, so I thought that was really cool, and the spin they have on the whole franchise is dope. You know, but the difference between my show and this show is the work. You know, she stays working us very, very hard when we were shooting Follow the Rules, because it's just us.
Yeah.
You know, and now we have
You have a whole team.
many storylines to follow,
Yeah.
besides just my kids and
Yes.
me. So
And you are the executive producer
Yeah.
of this show as well, along with Irv. And so are you enjoying the process?
it's a great process. It's a lot of fun.
Good, good. Well, look, beyond reality TV, obviously you're a music legend. Do you feel that you get your due in the music industry?
It depends on who you ask.
Okay, well, I'm asking you.
I mean, you just gave me my proper due. It's very amazing. You know, I mean, music is subjective, and I understand that. And the more you understand that, the easier it is for you to understand how people judge you.
Okay.
You know, when you realize that it's subjective, you realize people don't have to like your music. They don't have to like what you do, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So, do I think I got my just dues in this industry? I do, because I've made a lot of money in this business.
Sold a lot of albums.
It sold a lot of albums. It wasn't like, you know, I put out this good music and nobody responded to it. You know, people loved, enjoyed my music, still do to this day.
Yep.
So, you know, I believe I get what I asked for.
That's amazing. How did you come to that realization, though, that it is subjective and not everyone has to like you? Because I would imagine that's something, when you are a superstar, there's like a part of you that wants like that universal love. So how do you get to that point where you're like, you know what, it's okay if not everyone loves me?
It's simple. You know, you go to bed on top of the world and wake up with the world on top of you. And that's when you realize, who cares?
Okay. Right. Shake off.
And the reality of it is it didn't change how I felt about me and how I lived my life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because these people, these haters or whatever, they live on that little box.
Yeah.
They live on that little screen in your pocket. You know, when I walk out and about, it's love. People happy to see me, excited to see me, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and you're going to do your music and you're going to have your career regardless of what they think.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, why give them any mind?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your boy, Jermaine Dupri, because he was on our sister
JD.
show.
Yeah.
JD. So he was on our sister show, People Now, and he made some comments about female rappers that really got him into some hot water. What was your take on that whole situation?
I understood what JD was trying to say. I think he was a little harsh.
Okay. What was he trying to say, do you think?
What he was basically trying to say is it needs to be a little bit more, how should we say, in the industry, what's the word I'm looking for? Just different, you know, and not everything needs, what's the word? Diversity.
Okay.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Thank you, Conrad.
A little more diversity, for the music to be a little more diverse. I think that's what it is. But I think when you go and look, there's a lot of diversity.
You're right.
You know, on both fronts.
Yeah.
Male and female. You know, there's dope artists out there like Rhapsody. She just performed on, you know, on the awards. There's just so many dope female artists. You know, Lizzo, she's super
She's
dope.
incredible. Megan,
You know,
Thee Stallion.
and they're all different. So, you know, there's a lot of different things out there. But I think, you know, the stripper aspect of it, that's a part of life too. That's what some of these girls came from. You know, just like me, I came from hustling on the street, so I talked about that. You know, as I grew out of that, I started to talk about different concepts, different, you know, different things.
I think it kind of ties into what we were talking about at the beginning of this interview about like women and men being held to different standards as well. So it's an interesting topic for sure. Now, this is also interesting. You are responsible for the term clapback.
Yeah.
You created that. Like, that is yours.
Yes.
How do you feel about the fact that it gets used so frequently? Does that make you proud? Are you sick of hearing it? Do you wish you'd copywritten it?
Well, you know, I tried to get it copywritten and they told me I couldn't. So that was that. So, but it's cool. I'm like, what was I gonna do with it? Make T-shirts? You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's whatever.
Why not?
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's cool to create a phrase and to 20 years later, see people still like using it as a popular phrase.
I think using it probably more prevalently than ever. I mean, it's so embedded in the zeitgeist now. And I mean, that's yours.
And it's a clapback. It's a clapback.
That's
right?
a clapback. Well, look, as you know, J-Lo's going to be heading Super Bowl next year. I can't tell you who's playing the game, but I can tell you that she's playing the halftime show, so that's going to be amazing.
I don't think anybody can tell who's playing the game yet.
Oh, so that's how little I know about football.
So you're not, don't take that as a bad thing. Nobody knows who's playing yet.
Hopefully the Giants, I guess. I don't know.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Well, look, obviously you and J-Lo have amazing chemistry together, so can we hope for an appearance by you?
You know, everybody keeps asking me this question, and I'm laughing because I'm like, guys, if Jennifer calls me, of course I would come perform.
Right.
But I wasn't invited to perform. Jennifer Lopez was.
So she's going to make the call.
Yeah, you got to ask Jennifer if you know, if she's going to, you know, do the record or if she has time to do my part of the record or whatever, you know. But if she calls me, of course I'm there. If not, it's love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, look, fingers crossed, obviously.
Yeah. I'll probably be there, though, regardless, because I'm a football fan.
Especially if the Giants are playing.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll definitely be there if the Giants are playing.
Well, while we're on the subject, it's a little controversial, but what do you think about Jay-Z's relationship with the NFL?
I mean, it is what it is. I think, you know, here's what people have to understand, you know, everything comes to a head at a point. And I think, you know, the whole NFL and Colin Kaepernick situation is come to a head. And it's time for, you know, some action now. What's going to happen now after it? But, you know, I really, when I look at the whole situation, it's like, okay, Colin Kaepernick used his platform to speak about social injustice.
Yes.
You understand?
Yep.
It was never a NFL issue.
Right.
It's a police brutality issue.
Yes, and he just happened to use the NFL
used his platform, and so, you know, and then Donald Trump used that whole thing for his own personal reasons to make it about the flag.
Right.
So I think the whole thing just got blown out of proportion.
It's like a bit of a twisted narrative at this point.
Yeah.
So what did you think about Rihanna's decision in 2018 to turn down the opportunity and stand in solidarity with Colin and not perform the halftime show?
You know, I think everybody's entitled to their decisions and how they want to move the needle.
Yeah.
You know, and if that was Rihanna's decision, I stand behind her decision to do that. Travis Scott decided to perform active.
Right.
I'm not mad at him. You understand? Everybody has their own way of dealing with it. Jay sitting down this year with the NFL after last year boycotted. You understand? So times change, and now it's time for people to start having the conversation. We boycotted, we did the marches, we did all of that. Okay, now what's our next step? Do we keep boycotting? Do we keep marching? Or do we try to sit down and have a conversation about how to make this right for all parties involved?
Right. It's a process, for sure.
It's a process. And here's the other part of the process what people don't understand. It's not going to happen overnight.
No, that's true.
You understand?
Yeah.
Just because the NFL got Jay-Z to come in and be a part of what they're doing, it doesn't mean the NFL's going black tomorrow.
Right. It's not
they have a big white audience too, and it's, you know, they want everybody to be happy. They want everybody to enjoy the sport of football.
Yes.
You know?
It's a small step toward a much larger problem.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah. Well, look, let's switch gears because you knew it was going to come up. I have to ask you about Fire Festival.
Oh, that beautiful island.
That beautiful island. I'm actually going there in a couple of weeks' time, so I'll get you travel tips after this.
Have fun, man.
Thank you.
Have fun, yeah.
Now, you said that you haven't watched either of the documentaries. There's one on Hulu, one on Netflix. What do you think went wrong with Fire Festival? What would you do differently, given the chance?
Everybody knows what went wrong, but what I would do differently is what I'm gonna do differently.
And that's with Icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us how Icon is going to...
I'm going to do it a lot differently. I mean, well, the main difference is wherever I decide to do it, there will be infrastructure already there. We won't be building somewhere for you to sleep. You understand?
Yes, on the day off.
What
was that even like?
Like,
what was the panic situation for you like as you realized that the masses were en route and nothing was in place?
Well, here's another part of the story that people really don't realize. I was getting all of the information fed to me. I wasn't there. I was in Chicago. I had a concert in Chicago.
Right.
And so I was coming in on Friday, the day after.
Gotcha.
Everything happened on a Thursday. What people don't understand is I was getting the call. So my assistant called me, told me everything was looking crazy. I'm getting other calls saying, we're working it out. So I get the call from my assistant. She's like, Ja, please, it's going crazy here. Don't allow anybody else to land here. What I did is there was another plane en route. We had our own planes for the thing. So we had another plane en route. I called air traffic control to let them know, listen, we can't let that plane land. We got to turn it around and bring it back to Miami. And, that was my main concern. After everything started going wrong, okay, we're losing money. This thing is a wrap. Let's make sure everyone's safe. Everybody gets back off that island safe. And that was my order of business after, happened, was just making sure now that we,
Infrastructure, So all those rules you're going to now apply to Icon.
So now with Icon, I have a great, amazing team of partners.
Great.
These guys do some of the biggest festivals in the world.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the Iconic Fest.
Okay,
which arguably is probably the biggest festival in the world that never happened.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, look forward to that.
Everybody knows about it. Now it's just, when you're doing something like this, the biggest thing is marketing, promotion. How do we get everybody to know about it? Well, that part's already solved.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that Ja Rule had a festival, was doing a festival. So now when we do this festival, the world will be on notice. The world will be watching. Now let's just do it the right way.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, that's definitely one to look forward to. And also in very cool news, you recently announced that you are the owner of the first ever paid women's football team. So can you tell us why you decided to get involved with the WFLA?
Wow, man. The WFLA is special, man. It's a new women's football league. There are other women's football leagues, but this football league in particular is for women, by women, owned by a woman owner, Lupe Rose, and she's just bringing women empowerment to a whole nother level, right now, and I love that. I have a daughter, and I understand what it's like to empower women, to invest in women, and so this is a really dope vehicle, and not for nothing, these women athletes are out of this world.
Wow!
I swear, I was watching this woman play the other day. I don't want to say her name on air and blow up or anything, but she looked like Barry Sanders. She looked like, I'm telling you, I think I'm joking. the way she was moving, juking, training.
Wow.
So these women are real athletes. It's no joke here. We're not doing the lingerie, thing. We're not subjectifying women in any way.
No, it's just this.
They're all padded up. They're wearing the real pad. They're playing football.
It's the real deal.
The real deal.
Well, you got so much amazing stuff going on, including Growing Up Hip Hop New York, of course, and that airs tonight and every Thursday at 9 p.m. on WeTV. So make sure you're watching. This guy's executive producer and obviously the star of it as well. Now, you're going to step out for just a second, and I'm going to chat to Jordan from MTV's The Challenge, but you're going to come back and help me close out the show a little bit later on. So go take a load off. And guys, make sure you stay with us, because if you watched The Challenge last night, you know it was an explosive episode, and Jordan Wiseley is going to be on the phone to break it all down, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
We have to shoot him again.
I'm the turbo. Don't piss me off if you are not ready for big fighting.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. On the line now, we have Jordan Wiseley from MTV's The Challenge War of the Worlds 2 to talk about last night's explosive episode. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Lyndsey. Thank you for having me on.
Are you kidding? It's such an honor to meet you. I only wish that you were here in the studio and not via Skype, but that's okay. We're going to make do. And before we get into the challenge, I would just like to say huge congratulations to you and Tori on your engagement and ask you how wedding planning is going.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's, obviously very, very early in the stages, but Tori's older sister actually just got married not too long ago. So we've got like a very seasoned veteran in our corner. So we're excited about the process for sure.
Oh, that's so cool. And we're so happy for you. And we're really excited to see it play out on this season of The Challenge. Can't wait for that episode. In your experience, is being on a show like The Challenge with your partner an advantage or a disadvantage?
It's both. It's a double-edged sword for sure, because for me, I go in there and this is a competition, and I go in there with like a very strict mindset, and which obviously, as you can see from the last episode, it causes blowback for her. But on the flip side, we have each other, and this is one of the most stressful situations that we could ever like put ourselves into. So to have each other there to just talk it out, help with frustrations, I love that.
Yeah, and it's so great to see how she's always got your back, which we'll talk about in a minute. But whilst the two of you are headed for wedded bliss, Cara Maria and Paulie just announced that they've actually broken up. So were you surprised at all by that?
I was really surprised. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in that camp. I don't know. I don't want to speak on it because despite how Cara and I's rhetoric is in the game and everything, we're all people, and these are all very real feelings that we're dealing with. So for both of them, I hope the best, whatever it is, together or not. I do hope the best.
Yes, of course. All right. Well, personal stuff aside, why don't we dive into last night's episode, because tensions were high and tempers were even higher. Now, even though Team USA won the Resilient River Run Challenge, things fell apart at the finish line. So let's take a look.
Stop! Kicking him! We have to shoot him again. Just stop!
Tori immediately jumps in and lets Turbo know, yo, it's not just one of us, it's two of us.
Well, as you said, Tori, your ride or die jumped on in there. But, I mean, Turbo continued to talk smack and even vowed to vote you into the proving ground. So why don't we take a look at that?
Okay, stop. Chill. You making it worse.
Jordan. Chicken. Thinking he's the boss here, but he's not. If I have a chance, I will send him down and I will go down. I want to share elimination with this .
So, Jordan, what's your take here? Why was Turbo so mad? This seemed so out of the blue.
It wasn't out of the blue in that I got in his face. What's the context that really isn't captured is we were trying to have a team vote, and we had been for the last probably 10 minutes. And he'd been kicking him, and finally I was just like, yo, and that's where we come in, is we see the blow up, and I came in hot, so he reacted to that. But you're right, when it just kept going, and we have a very, very good security team on set, and when they come in, it's game over. You know what I mean? We all sign the same contract.
Yep.
And so when security comes in and they say, this is over, it's over. And it just kind of continued. And I think that's what ultimately, like, made it look way worse, you know, because like that right there, it was very quick, it was very reactionary, and then it was like separated.
Yeah.
But that it continued at the perimeter, I think, is what like aided in just the gravity of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy to watch, but I mean, Tori ultimately convinced you to put your pride aside and apologize to Turbo man to man. So why don't we watch that play out?
Man to man, I want to say I'm sorry for getting in your face. I shouldn't come into your personal space, come in hot, you know, after the challenge, all that.
I'm happy you come to me, bro, because I didn't want to watch you tonight, and I didn't want to go elimination with you, like, for this stupid reason.
So Jordan, was that what you really wanted to say to Turbo, or was that purely to prevent your name being called?
It really was. And, you know, they showed a conversation between Tori and I before that, too, where, you know, she sat me down. She's like, you got to apologize. And I gave her a hard time. But to be honest, it was a lot of just bravado, you know, and like trying to like, I don't, you know, didn't want to like give up anything. Cause I'll admit, coming into the challenge and hearing about this Turbo guy and knowing that everyone was kind of like, he was the guy, I was like, okay, well, we need to test this kind of. But in that situation, I knew I was wrong. So I had no problem making that apology. And it was actually, we had a great conversation. I wish they would have showed more because we really, you know, kind of got past it and then had a talk about how he and I especially needed to come together to keep the team kind of in there. This is, you know, at the beginning of a real divide starting to happen, let's say.
Well, look, good for you for admitting when you're wrong and for apologising. I think that takes a really good man to be able to do that. And look, it did the trick because the tribunal unanimously voted to send in Joss to compete against Bear. And the Wallop Challenge, that looked so brutal. My anxiety was like here watching it.
Oh, man.
Like, it's so claustrophobic. Those hallways are so thin. And, of course, only one man could make it out on top. So let's have a look.
Unfortunately, Bear, someone's got to lose. I wish I could give it to both of you. But Bear, this is your time here. Take care of yourself, man.
I'm sad to see Bear go because he didn't deserve this.
So, Jordan, we'd love to hear your take on the outcome of the Wallop Challenge.
Yeah, it was great to watch. Great heart by both of them. I'll give it to him. Bear was giving up probably at least 20 pounds, you know, and Joss is no stranger to, you know, head to head. He's a rugby guy. He knows how to tackle. He knows how to use his weight. Bear put up a fight, but that was Joss's night for sure.
So was Joss who you were rooting for?
I wasn't. I was rooting for Bear. I wanted Bear to win, and honestly, Bear was the one who he was like the rookie or the new guy that surprised me the most. He has a reputation, obviously, that certainly precedes him.
Yes.
So hearing about him, you know, that he's like such a joker, and then he can scrap, and he had a lot of heart. So I give it to him. But congrats, Joss. Hard fought and well deserved.
Yeah, definitely congrats to Joss. But what will you miss most about Bear? Because I know that I'm going to miss him.
Bear will always put a smile on your face. You know, he really is all about the laugh. And he and I are very similar in that sometimes you just have to be able to recognize that that's just us being us and Bear being Bear and laugh with him. And I will miss those laughs.
Oh, yeah, so will we. But having said that, I mean, you're a veteran, so is Wes. Like, there's a bunch of players that have become huge stars from this show. Do you think Bear has what it takes to be a future challenge star like yourself?
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for that. And then absolutely, I think he does. I think he's just learning the strategy and the political side of the game, too. Like, this isn't Big Brother or this isn't Survivor. You know, it's very different in that you have to be political and physical at the same time. So
yeah, what you guys do is so impressive every single week. I'm just like floored. So what can we expect from the upcoming episodes? We know that you and Turbo obviously have resolved your issues, so that's great. But what does the future hold for Team USA? Because as you said, like right now there's such a divide between you guys.
Yeah, I really throughout the season, I really had high hopes that it would be like, hey, let's look at this objectively and stay as strong as we can. If we lose, let's just vote the weakest and move on and eliminate all the Brits. It'll come down to us, and we'll fight amongst ourselves for the money. But it's just not that simple on a challenge. It never is, and never underestimate the power of an alliance, and a very big alliance. Yeah. So you're about to see some international treaties come together and hold stronger than I've ever seen actually hold in real life.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, we're going to keep watching because you guys make some of the most compelling TV out there. So thank you for just being amazing competitors and for keeping us entertained. And of course, congrats to you and Tori. Again, we can't wait for that episode. And I just got to say, I hope that you guys do something relaxing for your honeymoon, okay? No relic runs.
Yeah, no. We will be finding a beach somewhere and relaxing for sure.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, Jordan, anytime, and good luck with the rest of the season. Can't wait to see it play out.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. All right, everyone, make sure you catch Challenge, MTV's The Challenge War of the Worlds 2. That's Wednesdays at 9, 8 Central on MTV, of course. We are headed to a very quick break, and on the other side, Ja Rule will be back to close out the show with us, and we've got an iconic reality history moment for you, so don't go anywhere. Hey guys, Ja Rule is back to sign off the show with me. Get off your phone, son. What you doing?
You see me stash it real quick. I just stash under the pillow. Yeah.
Sliding into someone's DMs. That's
no,
all right.
Mary, I don't do that.
I'm kidding. All right, now before we close out the show, I do have a question actually from Twitter for you. So, at Mr. Parks wants to know, when are you going to release a single and announce a label deal?
Very soon. So, at first, I wasn't going to release a single at all.
Okay, even though you have an album coming out.
Yeah, because 12 it's like an art piece.
Ooh.
It's meant to be heard as one.
As one, interesting.
But I have a record that I may not put on the album, that I made about fire.
Oh.
It's called For Your Real Entertainment.
Okay.
It's an acronym for fire.
Yeah, that's very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever.
But, so I may put that out.
Yeah, do it.
Look, she said do it.
Do it, do it, do it.
It's really a fun record.
Okay.
Really, really fun, tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's pretty cool.
And I think it will show people that you're like, you know what, that happened, whatever. I'm bouncing back, and you know, I can poke fun at myself.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
All right.
But as far as the label announcement stuff, my new project will be on my imprint, Iconic Sound.
Fantastic. Okay, well, a lot to look forward to. And talking of iconic things, let's look at an iconic moment that took aspiring recording artists to the BK for a snack. Enjoy.
You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake. Life is good, right? New chains, new hats.
Oh, man, come on, man.
I gotta walk miles to rap. Takes the fun out of it. It sucks.
This got us walking to Brooklyn for some cheesecake.
Now, do you think young artists today would do such a thing, or are they a young artist too entitled?
I don't know. They ain't doing that today. Why would I walk the Cheesecake Factory when I could? I mean,
Uber Eats.
I could put my. Why would I walk to Junior's and I could put my music up right now on the SoundCloud?
That's very true. What do you think of the fact that Diddy says he's bringing back Making the Band? Good idea?
Yeah, I think that's dope.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you know what? I think it's dope. You.
Thanks.
So thank you so much for hanging out today and being
Thanks
so
for
generous with your time.
having me,
Oh, of
for
course.
Sure. It's been a
Well,
good time.
have an amazing weekend, long weekend.
Yes, long weekend.
Yes. Go and grill up some burgers. Just invite me around next time. Come on.
Yeah, I'm good
All
on
right,
the
you're the grill
I'm
master.
I'm good on the grill.
And I love a barbecue. All right, it is time to get on out of here. So, Jar, thank you very much yet again.
Yes.
We can't wait to hear your new album. That is called 12, and it drops in December, just in time for Christmas. Also, a huge thank you to Jordan Wiseley from MTV's The Challenge as well. Make sure you are following @People on Twitter so you can catch the latest episode of Reality Check, which streams Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I am Lyndsey Rodrigues, and I will check you next week. Bye.